never two sites are same. Each site is unique to us. So it presents a unique challenges. If the challenge is not there, then life will be dull. Took my trunk on my shoulder and that suitcase on the hand, and I walked. Fortunately, luckily for me, he was standing on the outside, just outside the gate. If you want to utilize your knowledge to the public good, then the government organization is the right place. There is a saying that engineers make the world, others live in.
Hello aspirants, welcome to Civilianz. Today we have the honor of hosting A. Aundeeswaran, retired Chief Engineer from Central Public Works Department. He has worked as Engineering Advisor at Indian Institute of Technology, Palakkad, Technical Advisor at Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Trivandrum, and Advisor to APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University. He was the Chief Engineer, South Zone CPWD, Trivandrum, and has looked after and managed technical, budgetary and administrative control of CPWD works in the entire state of Kerala, Union Territory of Lakshadweep and Union Territory of Mahi. With many years of experience in the infrastructure development and public works, Aundeeswaran sir will share some valuable insights into the department's initiatives, challenges and successes. Welcome to the session, sir. We are extremely glad to have you today.
Thank you.
Sir, could you kindly share a brief overview of your journey with the CPWD, highlighting some of the key milestones you have achieved along the way?
Actually, I have not joined in CPWD first. I joined in State PWD. Actually, I graduated in 1980 from Madurai, Tyagaraja College of Engineering. Immediately after graduation, I joined in State PWD. Sidambaram. I worked there, and from there I was sent on deputation to Tamil Nadu Secretariat. There is a Tourism and Culture Department. While I was in the final year of my graduation, I appeared in Engineering Service Examination 1980. Okay. So when I was working on deputation in Tamil Nadu Secretariat, the late M.G. Ramachandran was a chief minister. There is only one technical post there in that culture department. I got an offer of appointment from All India Radio Bombay. Then I joined in All India Radio Bombay in 1982 and worked there in 1984. A quite interesting thing is, in 1980, I was in the class 1 list, Group A selection list. Actually, from childhood onwards, that is, I am from a small village near Sushendrapuram. So in those days, that is, the Ceylon radio was famous. So as a child, we used to hear the local Panchayat radio station, old songs. So I was probably influenced by that Ceylon radio. While filling up the thing, I filled the choice of posting in alphabetical order. All India Radio first, Border Road Service, Central Engineering Service. Since my choice of All India Radio was first, they offered me All India Radio to me. After joining only, I realized my mistake. Actually, that is, the application itself was quite interesting because I was pursuing the final year graduation. Those days it is a 5-year course, not like 4-year course, 5-year course. So in the morning we were going, because along with friends we were going to mess. In one room there was a big crowd. So casually, it is as an instinct, we peeped in what is going on in that room. So people were around the table, and one gentleman was filling the application for Union Public Service Commission. That is called Central Engineering Service. That is examination. Then I casually remarked to my friend that is, I also applied for those days. It is only 2 rupees. The form comes in book post. It is a big bundle folded together and it is wrapped in book post. And in a hostel it is 4 or 5 blocks. Normally the postman doesn't climb all the 4-storied and elsewhere. So what he does it, he put it in one room in the first block and moves away. probably that in that form is lost. I casually remarked, I also applied for, but I didn't get a form. So my friend told, I got the form, I am not going to apply. Then what he did was, I requested him, why don't you share that form to me? Yes, I will give you the form. So what he did was, he removed the form and kept that brochure, instruction. That was a big bundle, just like a booklet. He along with him. He said, I want this, I want to study this. I told, how I will fill the form? He told, you fill it now itself. And I filled up the form there itself. In that only that mistake happened. I filled up in a alphabetical order, that in that All India Radio. So when I realized that mistake, I applied again. Then 1982 exam, I got the Central Engineering Service CPWD. I joined the CPWD in 1984. I initially joined in Delhi, Central Design Organization. That is a special unit under CPWD, that which is specialized in the complicated and high value structural design. Because those days, a project which is costing more than 10 crore and all that is, you have to because you cannot have that skill in every unit. So they centralized, pooled together. They created a central design organization in the headquarters in Delhi, and that specializes in structural design works. In that unit I joined. And that time, meanwhile, I got married also. So my wife was in bank. So those days, very difficult to get transfer, so I got her transferred to Delhi. But luckily or unluckily, that is on my promotion, they posted me to Trivandrum, where my wife belongs. So my wife got a transfer with great difficulty to Delhi. There is only two branches were there that time, State Bank of Trivandrum, one at Karol Bagh, one at Arkebram, Bikajikama place. That is, if you know Delhi, that is the place in which it is there. So we came back. That's how my journey started back to Kerala, where from I am. So then, most of the time I worked in Kerala, mostly as executive engineer in Thrissur, executive engineer planning at Trivandrum, executive engineer Calicut, I worked there. Some other projects I handled was that is then GPRA at Kakanad, and ESIC quarters, Kutanallur, Central School at Thrissur, Puranatagara, like that many projects that is we handled. In fact, that agriculture college works at Valayani and Thrissur, and the fisheries college, the first, you might be saying that compound wall initial plan was done by us. Like that it started. I became superintendent engineer, then chief engineer. Not only I worked in Kerala, I worked in Tamil Nadu, Madurai, Mysore, Chennai, Income Tax Department, Appropriate Authority, and I worked in Ministry of Environment Forest, Delhi also. Like that, I made a roundabout, and making after a round, I finally retired from Trivandrum as chief engineer.
Okay, sir. So, may I ask you, what actually inspired you to pursue a career in civil engineering and eventually join the engineering services?
Again, it is quite interesting. Quite interesting in the sense, again, that is, I told initially, that is the then Ceylon Radio played a major role in me. Those days, it is a 5-year course. Engineering is a 5-year course. That is, first 2 years, that is, you will study all the basic mathematics, physics and chemistry, equivalent to almost a graduate level, BSc chemistry, BSc mathematics and BSc physics. So first 2 years is okay, and we did. And then 3rd year only the branching out starts, civil, mechanical and discipline. So 3rd year, I studied in Tyagaraja College of Engineering, Madurai. Those days, that is the only college at the south. And then Karaikudi, that is, then otherwise Coimbatore. This is what, most of the things is Chennai and other places. Only 5. So 3rd year, I was quite enamored by this radio and song. That is, I was attracted to electronics and communication. That time, that was a new subject, not quite popular, but it was an emerging field. Somehow, that is probably I thought that is I can listen to good song, good music. That's how I attracted to electronics and communication. Then I had to get transferred to another college, that is Alagappa Chettiar College at Karikudi. There only that course was there. So I applied for, and then I was about to get transferred to AC College. Actually, my father was a primary school teacher, but he was not, he was quite surprised, what is this electronics and communication? So he consulted, inquired about one engineer who was then working in highways, Tamil Nadu Highways Department, who studied in Alagappa Chettiar College, that is AC College. He went and inquired, my son wants to take electronics and communication. What about that course? So he advised him, that course you will not get any employment, nothing is there, he will be jobless after graduation. So you don't ask, you ask him not to take that course, you ask him to take civil engineering, that he will get immediate employment. So that my father then immediately put a telegram, don't join electronics and communication, you take civil engineering. That's how I landed in civil engineering. I don't have no regret. I was very happy exactly for two reasons. One is, after joining civil engineering, I realized it is very well connected to our life. So our shelter, our food, irrigation you take, communication, transport. It is day to day you experience in your life. That's how it is. Second reason is that the teachers who taught me made the subject quite interesting. There was one Professor Ramurthy was there. He was very excellent professor. So the teachers and the subject itself made me to love that subject and study more. I don't have any regret. In fact, thanks to that advice, I grown up. I enjoyed the subject, and in fact, I'm fortunate to that I have taken this civil.
Okay, happy to hear that, sir. So, would you be willing to share the details of any particularly challenging project you have worked on and how you managed to overcome those difficulties while executing the project?
See, coming to challenge in civil engineering, challenges of many types. You see, one of the peculiarity of the civil engineering is it is to be executed at site. At site. Second thing is, never two sites are same. Each site is unique to us. So it presents a unique challenges. Each site presents you with a unique challenges. Then many things. For example, each area of culture, language, because you are not executing a work in a plain football field or a ground, and you will be, each one will be unique. One will be in Andhra Pradesh, one will be in Chennai, another one will be in Himachal Pradesh. Like that. For example, I executed a work in Shimla. It is a residence, and if it is one block, another block, there is 100 feet difference. Not that it is 100 feet difference, that is you have to retain, and it is a high rainfall area. If it's the top block come crashing down to your bottom, that, so each project presents you a technical. This is one I am saying that. Then the human elements, physical language, what you talk in Kannada, Mysore, when you work, you have to somehow talk to Kannada. When you work in Hyderabad, you try to learn Telugu. When you work in Bombay, you have to try to learn Marathi. When you Ahmedabad, then Gujarati you should know. So each one, if you work in UP, that is, you have to have that. Haryana, the different, though it is there, in Punjab, that is okay. So when it present, it being in a central service, that is, your horizon is much broader. One of the reason that is I changed from All India Radio to CPWD is, in fact, my boss was unwilling to relieve me from, because their promotion was much faster. I am the fellow who, class 1 fellow opted for the class 2 post, that I am 8th fellow from the top downwards. I used to get promotion quickly. And my boss, superintendent engineer, then he advised me, his colleague is there, you will get much promotion much faster than them. That is why you move there. But I want to swim in the ocean rather than the well. That is why I opted for. Because the CPWD is one of the organization, the variety, and for civil engineering, it is one of the best. I know that is some of the people who got a selection in railways have come to CPWD for the sake of that professional, because no department provides just a variety of works that CPWD provides. You take housing and you see border roads, different kinds of stadiums, schools, colleges, and even that we have done work for even ISRO. For example, in Bangalore, we constructed a building for testing their sound. The rocket provides enormous sound that is to be contained. Their civil engineering structure, the noise you cannot, when you conduct an experiment, you should know how many decibel, and humanly it is not possible. Only instrument can measure. So you have to provide that kind of structures also, CPWD. In fact, Trivandrum Airport was constructed by CPWD. Trivandrum Airport. And the first Greenfield Airport in Cochin was the superintendent who was then Abraham Joseph. He was the person in charge there. That is. So this CPWD provide that kind of, because he worked in Hindon Airport and the Air Force. So with that experience, he has contributed to that. So that's a field. So the challenges, coming to the point of challenge, I told one is technical, another is human. Not only that, then you are dealing with contractual and legal issues. There will be challenges, both contractual and legal issues. Okay. And then you have to manage it, finance, vigilance. So you have got, so I, for the simplicity, because many of the things are subject itself, you can talk hours and hours together. So to say a small example, something challenges having that, say, I cite a case of Indian Maritime University at Wellington Island, Cochin. This project was there. And it was functioning in a rented accommodation. The accommodation loaned by Port Trust, Cochin Port Trust. The Vice Chancellor had a problem because their head office is Chennai. So he has said that is, we have to move the batches. It's because number of students getting admitted is more, that is we have to move out. So we have got some 2-3 crore sanctions. With that you provide a temporary shed. And you know that Wellington Island is a man-made island. I think everybody has island. It's a filled up soil. So you have to provide a foundation. You have to go minimum 20 to 30 meters. So that 20 crores will be sunk in the under the ground. No structure can be constructed that. Okay. So how to proceed? And you cannot wait for so long, and the piling itself will take time. It is a specialized job. And time is very limited. So you have to take a challenge. So when you have to take some time risk, that's what I am telling. There is the challenge when it comes means you have to make a decision. Every decision will have their was plus and negatives. So you have to balance. There only the human judgment, your experience come into play. Whether you can take this risk or not. Because motives can be attributed. See, if there can be failure. Chances of failure also you should factor in. And how to manage. So we found there is a first 4 to 5 feet is sandy layer. When they pumped that is sand from the seabed and make it, there is 4 to 5 feet, that's you got a sand bed. So that is to be utilized for a temporary shed. So we find the technical solutions. Virtually without decaying, without reinforcing the soil, we did that work and we provided a accommodation temporarily till that is the main building. That will be a 5 years project, 5 to 6 years. That also we constructed. That is around 30 meters, 36 meters deep piles. So drilling and construction will take a long time. So simultaneously, that was a parallel activity we did. We accommodated them. That's how that IMU was. I am telling you, technical side. To say another one, some example in this is ZSI Kozhikode. There is a Zoological Survey of India building is there. Say, sometimes that technically, I am purely talking technical because I have got challenges of legal, contractual and many other, because that involves many things much more complicated. Probably the listeners to understand, they should have the background knowledge of law of contract, law of limitations, many things they should know, that is equity, law of equity. And so that is a much specialized, when they enter in the department, they will be learning those things. So I'm totally restricting to simple elementary technical matters. And a judgment one has to take, how to take that is. For example, a compound wall is to be constructed, and the analysis was done, soil investigation was done by NIT, Calicut. They said no foundation could be provided, you required a pile foundation, because soil is really poor soil. To give an example, when they dug up a well for collection of wastewater, the rain came, that is the adjacent people's compound wall started moving towards this property. That bad was the soil. Just to give an example, I have to tell them immediately you fill that back, so that till the rain is over you don't dig that side at all. That was the condition. So that such a bad soil, that is, the report was absolutely fine. But the problem is, if you construct that compound wall, that is a two-pile system they have given. The structural design was a MIT man, a Delhi firm. It is a very competent structural engineers. They also not. So I asked them that you give a simple foundation compound wall, because it is cost about 1.5 to 2 crore. And for this much a small compound wall, spending that much is not wise. Because, see, finding solution is, you can give a solution many different. For civil engineering, that is the beauty of it. There is no one solution, not 2 to 2 equal to 4, that kind of solution is not. In civil engineering, you have got many solutions to the same problem. Yes. You have got many solutions to the same problem. You have to choose an appropriate solution to the given circumstances. One of the consideration is it should be economical, because always the resources are limited. If you have unlimited resources, you can find a solution to any problem. That is always the constraint is the resources are limited. So you spending 2 crore, that is what he refused to give you structural design, because naturally he don't want to take that responsibility. So I requested my exhibit engineer, when Gopalakrishnan was my exhibit engineer, I told him that is, you see, we can construct this within 10 lakhs. If it fails, you can, even it failed 10 times, even then it is less than 2.5 crores. Okay, I am sure that it will not collapse, it will not fail, I will give you the foundation solution. The simple reason is, that is, because that is when we constructed, there is a WBM road is made. You construct a compound wall over that, providing a plinth band plus a raft, continuous raft. I did. It is just cost 10 rupees. The compound wall is still static. That was the year 2006. So this is what you have to be. You have to think out of box. You have to be innovative, and not that is whatever I have done is the correct one. You try to find an optimum solution given under the circumstances. That is, try to economize, because the resources are limited. And instead of that, I could have very well constructed. Most of the time people say, okay, they put a blame on the structural engineer, okay, he gave the design, that is what. When you are in a position to judge, and it is, after all, it is a public money. It is, you and I pay the taxes. Not that is, don't think that is, there is always a feeling government means the money comes from just like outside, from Germany or London or something like that. It is our own money. So when we spend the resources, we should think that is, we are as if in our own, in our house. If we do what we do, that kind of thinking should be percolated. This is what I said, a small example. I can add on for ad nauseum, that is not required. Just I gave a simple small examples. That is how you have to face the challenges. Challenges are many, contractual. You have to have a challenge. And if life, the challenge is not there, then that is, life will be dull. And especially in profession, you should have, then only you grow, you will learn. Yes. That is okay.
Yes, sir, true. Yeah. So how does the CPWD actually uphold the standards of quality and sustainability in its projects?
See, the quality is not an abstract term. Actually, it involves many elements in it. See, quality will not come out of a blue. But simply saying that is you have to have a quality work does not come. If you want a quality, you have to have a system in place. First of all, you have to have a trained manpower. That is, a person should be qualified, skilled, and appropriate for that. You should fit in. What skill should fit in what job? That is to be a correct fit in should be there. And then you should have a system, a procedure. For example, you should have a specification. There should not be no ambiguity. What should be done should be clear, because a contractor should be also, it should be clear, it should be clear for the supervising person also, it should be clear for the laborer who is actually doing the work. So that's, you should have a clear, what is documentations, SOPs, you can say standard operating procedures. Then there should be a supervision. You have to check anything it is going or not. That's a control mechanism, whether it is going in a correct direction or is there any deviation or not. This is the control mechanism. You have set some, you have put a system in place, and there should be a control mechanism. You have to check and balance. So you have to have a check and balance. Then if it is something, a deviation, how to correct it? There should be a corrective mechanism. Okay. And then you should have a philosophy. Overall, covering all this, you should have a quality. That is called not a control, assurance. How the deviation doesn't take place. In the initial place, you should prevent the action. You should be there. Not that is something happened. Because in civil engineering, correction is very costly. Suppose, let us say, a concrete is done wrongly, you rectifying is very, very difficult. What is a very simple, easy thing to do at the initial first place became a very complicated and costly procedure to rectify. So that is the prevention is. So CPWD has got a trained, one of the best trained manpowers, engineers and technocrats, and it has got one of the best specifications, CPWD specification, analysis of it, data, that is they have got. And they got a SOPs procedure, works manual, which clearly specify and well-defined responsibility. Who is responsible for what? And then they got a check, quality check at different levels. There is a check by the person and that he supervises, and overall, and certain records should be maintained at site. So this much concrete, this much test should have been done. This much volume work, and this should be compared and it should be attached with bills. This testing is done, this is done, this test check is done. So there is a control. Over and above, then third party quality control is there. It is internal, there could be collusion sometimes. So they have got a system of third party, not connected to the department. People will come and inspect and they give the record. That's how, this how the mechanism is inbuilt in CPWD to maintain a quality. In spite of this, if it happens, there is over and above, that is the senior officers should conduct such and such. They should visit this work within 15 days, 13 days, like that. There is a mandatory provisions and the SOPs are there. That's how the CPWD. And having said that, what should we realize? See, we all come from the society. See, you are not importing person from London, America and Germany to man this. You see, after all that is, after office hours I go back to society, isn't it? I am the same food, I may purchase from the same shop, same market and eat the same food. I am a writer. So, what is prevalent in the society will prevail in the department. Only thing what you can do is you can reduce the impact to an extent by developing an organizational culture. Your department will have your own culture. Means that is when you enter a department, certain things, do's and don'ts. You should not do this, you should not. That kind of things inbuilt. And in this, the saying, as the saying goes, the birds of same feathers flock together. So if you are quality conscious, you have to maintain integrity. You choose such mode of action. You coalesce with such people. You cooperate, collaborate, and then you proceed. So probably I was fortunate and lucky enough to work out some of the very straightforward, enlightened people with integrity from my beginning of career. That is why it made me rich in many respects. Thank you, thank you.
Sir, in your experience, how has the role of technology evolved in the planning and execution of CPWD projects when compared to the past?
Oh, it is a lot. It is a lot, to be frank. See, when I joined, in Sidambaram I was saying, in the morning, I have to pack my noon meals after having breakfast and travel early morning, 7 o'clock. That time the mode of communication, because it is one of the project I was handling is a cyclone shelter, because that area, Sidambaram, is prone to cyclone. Cyclone shelters. It is near the seashore. So only mode of communication is the morning fish. Actually not a fish lorry, it is a old Kanavati bus, you know or not, that is a lorry with the bonnet in the front and the cover will be there. So it to transport fish from there, it comes to the market in the morning. The return trip, you have to travel that. If I miss it, then I will not have we have 15 kilometers, you have to walk. So you will not get. What I'm saying, indication how the technology, now you cannot imagine like that. You have got bike, you have got scooters, anything that you can. That time to get Bajaj scooter, you have to book and wait for 5 years and pay 5,000 rupees premium. Because I know that is people will book and they make it as a business. So that is what technology, what I want to say is that is the convenience. And bill, you have to submit 3 copies. So you have to keep a carbon paper and write. In fact, this your thumb will be paining because you have to write with the ballpoint pen. You cannot write just like this. You have to press too hard and make not one page. You have to write hundreds of pages, and then only the bill will be prepared. It is not the case now. What I want. Then when I joined, there was very few personal computer. Even still I remember in 82 when I attended that is multi-story building lecture, the Bombay multi-story building where the CPWD house, that analysis was done in a computer. That time a computer means a room. And you have to punch card. In fact, when I joined, they used to train us that how to punch a data sheet in their card, because they have to check the data card, then only they have to put in a field, and it takes days to get your result, and then only if some one card there is a one mistake, then the entire thing is to be redone again. So that was the technology earlier. There was one computer in CDO where you have to have a time slot for going and working there. They will allot you can work on such and such a day, such and such a time. That is, you can work in your program, structural analysis, because to work on that. And nowadays, everybody has got in their table, there is a computer, and the JE has to prepare M-book, measurement books, manually, everything. And going there, that is only executive engineer will have that Mahindra Jeep. All other people has to travel by bus or something like that. That was the technology. What I meant nowadays, that is everybody has got a vehicle, a conveyance, and computer is there. In fact, now the progress is there in the touch. It is in the web that what is happening in Kozhikode knows chief engineer sitting in Trivandrum. You have a video conference you can have. Your instruction is given online. In fact, that those days to give a communication, we put a trunk call. Wait in the morning to evening, sometimes it will not materialize at all to convey that is certain decisions. Now you can take on the spot, even see that what is going on at the site, on the web, and give your instructions. Suppose they say that is what is that reinforcement, there is a problem, that they immediately video call, that is we will see that, give your decisions, that is what. So that is the technology has improved a lot. With that, our accuracy, for example, those days a structural analysis to be 2-cycle method, Kani's method, like that we have to do. Today that is not the case. That is, you have got a computer, strap, so many E-tab, and you by a click of and a word of caution. See, still you have to have the feel of the structures. To say one small example in this respect, technology also has got a hidden danger that you have to realize. Because if we don't have when I was in service, I don't want to name, a bright young engineer, that is, he is expert in structural design. He did a computer analysis, modeled it, and it is okayed. It is everything is okayed. Somehow what has happened, that is, while running the program, she has wrongly pressed something, one story has vanished. Modeling was done, it is studied, printout is taken, and it is okayed. Somehow while running the program, that one story deleted, and run the program, they issued a foundation drawing. And the structure has come to the second floor level. The second floor structural drawing is not issued, there is a pressure from the site. What is that? So, by that time only when she started looking for the result of that floor, it is not there in the analysis. Then only she realized that is by wrongly she deleted that is one floor. So, it not means technology means everything. You have to use your common sense also sometime to check whether what we have done is correct. It helps. Sometimes blunder can also happen. In the manually, it is very tedious job earlier. You have to do a calculation with calculator, slide rule and all. Now it has made a job easier. At the same time, that is, you have to be diligent and careful in that, using the technology also. That is why. Nowadays, for example, strength of the concrete, you have got now hammers are there. You know how it is there. You have got analysis what is the kind of reinforcement. In fact, pile deep, but the integrity of pile can be earlier only the pulling out test. It is a very costly affair. It is not, may not be possible always. In fact, there is for example, that is a pulled out test was done in Bombay somewhere in 70s and 80s when it done, because the soil being a sulfate and corrosive nature, salty nature, the pile concrete has gone, that reinforcement started getting rusted, so it building started sinking. So that's how they realized that time. Now you can run, that is from top itself you can find the integrity of concrete, how deep it is there, and of course there are certain limitations. Still you have got the technology has given you help to do a better work. So there are many things. For example, now that design mix concrete is there. Earlier it is only volumetric, 1 to 4, 1.5 is 3, and many of the cement. Now with the same quantity you can achieve from the 600, 1000 like that it is there, so that you can have a economical building, much more efficient building. That is how technology helped. There are many, now green building has come. There are many aspects are there. Low VOC paints have come. Many substitute have come, so that make the planet better world. Okay, thank you.
Sir, could you share some insights into the working culture and dynamics within the CPWD?
See, earlier the CPWD was much more bureaucratic in style, because it is one of the oldest organization inherited from Britishers. It was almost 170 years old. It is 1854 a division was created in Rajasthan, Ajmer. It was, and it is formal. CPWD was something around 1911 when the Central Secretariat, our Parliament building, Central Secretariat in Delhi was constructed. That time CPWD was not restricted to India alone, Burma, Ceylon, Afghanistan, and even now also we have constructed a Parliament building in Afghanistan, embassy building in Ceylon. Like that we did many works. That is not, even a special organization was created, that is under the ministry, to take up work in Gulf in 70s and 80s. So now that is, people have realized that is to take a quicker decision, because as the time changes, that is, you have to have much more flatter organization. At the same time, the people should have a career avenues also, promotion also. Am I right? So in 2019, there was a recommendation by Ernst & Young, that is the famous consultant was appointed. They gave a report is to make it much more flatter. That's how now the superintendent engineers also function independently. Chief engineers also, superintendent engineer also independently handle the projects. Similarly, AEs and JEs. It doesn't mean there are some places where the hierarchy is maintained. There are some places they are made flatter. So that's how that is. And see, by the very nature of the work, though the government always that you have to get the work done in writing. You cannot, because it is a spending. Any decision will have a contractual, financial and legal implications, because whatever the decision given. And every time you cannot, when you go to the site, every time you cannot have a typewriter and a letter, because you cannot. That is, a decision is to be given at the site. So there are records. For example, what is the decision given in the sites are immediately recorded in the site order book. Any senior officers who gives an order at site, there is a site order book. The junior engineer can give that book. He can record there, and under his signature, that became valid documents. And inspection also, you can say that is what is lacking, what is to be improved. That also can be given. And it works as a team. In the CPWD, it is a multidisciplinary. You have got electromechanical engineers, electrical services also there, civil services, architect is there, horticulture is there. Apart from that, a specialized consultant also will be there, specialized services. So it has to be worked as a team. You cannot say that because some details are required, you have to coordinate with the architect also. And you have to talk to other civil engineers, to talk to mechanical, electrical engineers, horticulture, other services, air conditioning. This coordination is very, very essential. So most of the time they have a joint inspections and site meetings in which all the representatives to be there. That is all. And then there is no time limit. Anytime we'll talk to anybody, even in night also sometimes they talk to each other over phone, and this work I have seen this one, and this one is required your attention. Like that they will communicate. The communication is an essential part in the management of the work. Then another aspect in this, you have to anticipate. Before things happen, one has to anticipate and do it. And you have got a lot of earlier problem of geographical spread. For example, chief engineer will be sitting in Chennai, superintendent engineer will be sitting in Trivandrum, executive engineer in Calicut. The communication used to be a problem earlier. Now that is much more localized, because they have delegated a lot more power to the lower levels. So they could be able to, financial powers are increased, decision making powers are, and much more now communication is much easier, not like earlier that is, now your fax is there, WhatsApp is there, email is there, everything live you can have things. So that's how the coordination become much easier. Then there is a human elements always there. After all, men, material and money, it is ultimately managed by the men. So human element will be, personality will be there. So that is, you have to have, that is an advantage of bigger organization. Suppose let us say you have landed a boss, that is sometimes that is a personality clash will be there. I mean, all said and done, each person will have their own like and dislike. You cannot say why I don't dislike. Am I right or not? Something that is, they will not be what is called, we are not able to go together kind of things. So that time you can change it. This is a CPWD, you can request that is the higher authorities will immediately they accommodate, because you have got so many units. Am I right? A person with Andhra is working in Tamil Nadu says no, that is in Kerala he says no, that you will find okay, you change it from here. That flexibility is there in the CPWD. And then you have got client interaction. This ultimately you are working for, you are satisfying somebody else's need. That is, you have to always keep the client's interest in your mind at the most, not your own interest. After all, that is, if client is not satisfied, that what use? That you did a beautiful building, beautiful structure, beautiful facility. If it doesn't satisfy their requirement, then that is of no use. So you have to be constantly in touch with your clients. Client, many times that is the client, you talk a technical language, they put in, you may not be able to put it in your language, So try to understand what is that. This is one of the main issue. It comes that initial stage itself, because they have got certain requirements, they put in a language or in a style that is, because it is unique. Each department have their own unique requirements. You try to, as far as possible, you try to understand that, and so that the plans and other things, facilities you plan will satisfy their requirements. That's what it is. And then many times that is, it is not that is 10 to 5 or 4 to 5 kind of thing may not work in the things, because according to the job requirement you have to get the things done. So for example, an administrator says that such and such a building of 100 stories of such and such value, such, and then he issues a financial sanction, sign the paper, it is over. But then only your work actually starts. So you cannot simply do it in paper. You have to physically see that it is done. So do it physically. It is requires a lot of effort and lot of things. So that is always say the work will be done in 2 years. In paper, you have to see that how it is to be done in 2 years. If it is to be done in 2 years, what are the actions you have to take? You have to plan ahead. Forecast what all are the problem it could come. What is the fallback mechanism? What is the plan? Because suppose let us say it is not you are doing. Suppose let us say you have to draft a letter, you will draft a letter and write. If you have to get the things done through others, requires much more skill. Always that everybody will say, I will do it. Yes, one can do, but there is a limitation. You requires others, you have to work as a team. That requires a lot of what is called adjustment, understanding, and understanding, a human understanding is required. That is required. That's CPWD. You have to develop that. You have to be successful. You have to be a much more human savvy. You have to understand, because sensibility, certain culture, certain sensibilities will be there, because we have state different people will be from different religion. That is one of the advantage. In fact, at least in civil service there used to be a cadre. It is a lot. In CPWD it was not even a cadre. A person used to work in Northeast. Many people. Now only it is a little bit regionalized. When I joined, that is people from Kerala work will be Northeast, Arunachal Pradesh, Guwahati and Kambai, that is what it is. So the entirely different culture. So people have worked in different places, Orissa, Andaman, Lactives. In fact, one of the challenging work is Lactives. Lactives, you won't find a rock or hot sand, and it is all, and if you go, it is coral island like a kind of thing will be there. Foundation. We did some technical work there, that is, we established, there is a Rashtriya Rifle we have did, and their education department some work. We opened a subdivision also, I was there. Because Lakshadweep was there. Okay, so you will have a lot of what is called experience. You grow as an engineer, matured engineer. That is okay. Yes. Okay.
What are some of the most prestigious projects undertaken by CPWD that especially stand out to you?
Many buildings. As a EA, that is, I did Spices Board headquarters building in Cochin was during, and Jalapur residential accommodation, it was around 216 in 80s. I am talking about 80s. Kakanadu was constructed during time. ESIC headquarters building in Thrissur was constructed. Center School Thrissur was constructed during time. And Palakkad was constructed. Palakkad Center School was. Indian Maritime University building in Wellington Islands was constructed by me. Here our BSF campus was constructed during. In LNCP also, in fact, resurfacing of velodrome, it was much more difficult. Similarly, and there are not only because small, there is many challenges also there. For example, suddenly there was a call that is, that's a rubber board headquarters building, Kottayam is there. That is by the side of railway track. So some boulders have fallen down. So naturally, There was a, and but you cannot construct a retaining wall there because there is a so steep. We have designed a retaining wall constructed that doesn't have a foundation. Still stands. It is in 1994. It is almost 30 years. Still stands. That is why we find an innovative way of doing that. It doesn't have a foundation. It hangs. That is the retaining wall is hanging the side. If you know that is the just by the side of railway station, the multi-story building, rubber board headquarters in Kottayam, you can see in the right side wall that's a retaining wall is there. Okay. Okay. No, that is not retaining. It is containing. There's a term used to be used. Similarly, that Indian Institute of Science Education Research, the campus was constructed. I was a chief project manager there. That was in fact much more. It was in abundant stage where legal complication was there, contractual complication. We get it done the first week. More than 500, 300, 600 crores project was that. Of course, the project was much bigger. And next phase also we started there. That is what it is. Of course, I did IIT Palakkad, all the work there. Transit campus I established there, plant. Okay, it is for others to judge. I should not speak of what I did. That is not... so okay.
Sir, could you please explain the hierarchy within the CPWD and the various levels of positions in the department?
The department, the topmost person is Director General. Director General of Works. He is also advisor to Government of India, technical advisor to Government of India. And it is a common post. Common post for civil, electrical, mechanical engineering service, architectural service. All the cadres can compete for that post, become eligible for Director General. Originally, when I joined, only civil engineers can become Director Generals, and it has now changed. Mostly civil engineer became, but at the top, that is a common post. That has been made no common post. And there are about, next level is Special Director General. That is, they will be there, and Additional Director General. Then chief engineers, superintendent engineers, executive engineers are there. So the higher echelon, that is around, you can say around 2,000 odd people will be there. That chief engineer, superintendent engineer in that level, 2,000. And overall technical staff will be somewhere around 10,000-15,000 around will be there. A similar amount of other administrative people will be also there. Assistant engineers, junior engineers, electrical, horticulture is there, and draftsman is there, chief estimators are there. Like that, there are not number of posts. And in CPWD is the only thing that is you got lot of career avenues. Say, for example, even if you join the draftsman also, that is you have got avenue to write. But only thing is you have to be industry, you should be always willing to learn and write examination. There are people who have joined as a draftsman, become executive engineers. There are junior engineers became, in fact, one of, when I joined earlier, one of the junior engineer became DG, Bhatia, he was, became, so diploma holder, he became, that is okay. So you have to write, you have to become ME, then limited competitive, then again you do a, joined in a course and obtained masters, and like that, then a doctorate. There are many people who have take a PhD from reputed IITs and other peoples. So you have got that kind of hierarchies. And the work execution, now they have made a little flatter. For example, A's and J's can directly report to executive engineer. Some of the hierarchy in some places they have maintained. Most of the places where the project, for especially construction, if you write one, J will write one, then the A's will write again executive engineer. Then decision has to come from executive engineer means J can also report A. That's why they have made to make a quick decision efficiently. So because ultimately it will reflect in the progress of work, the time required for completion. So they have made a little bit flatter. Similarly, the superintendent engineer also directly report to Additional Director General and Chief Engineer. But only thing is the Chief Engineer level will have much more responsibility, much more powers. The powers are different, and his sanctioning powers will be 30 crore and that kind of things will be there. And his deviation statement, extra item, there are powers are there. Powers will be according to the rank, but the reporting and the decision can be taken by each one flatter, much more flatter, because Now another category is going to come, that's what I learned, that is the proposal is no fee. Then much more new posts will be coming and much more flatter, because the modern management technique is an organization has to be flatter in to make a quick decision on the time. Otherwise, if it is travel around 4-5 steps, means that much each stage there will be a time lag. So decision making will be delayed. So they want to make it faster, because ultimately it reflect in the progress of work. And sometime in the decision itself become redundant. Am I right or not? So to make it quick, they have made a little flat. And but not a rigid. They will listen. Everyone can approach. Only thing is, when it comes in an administrative way, that it has to be formally recommended by the appropriate authority. But communication can happen either way. There is no flexible. There is no rigid one. You should come here, or you should come via this. Yes, except certain financial and contractual implication, and the day-to-day working, if anything is there, that is, it is, everybody is accessible. That is okay. Much more. Old days that was stricter, very strict. That is because that is time much more bureaucratic in style. Not like that. Now that is a lot of changes there. People have become much more, because a lot of project-oriented units have been created, just to make the decision-making quicker. Because everything will be there, because planning, decision-making, execution, everything is under a person control. He is there at site. Especially, for example, 200 crore and above, it will be a project chief engineer will be there. He handles the project and decision-making. Similarly, about 100 crores or so, that is a SC will be project. That it is a concentrated work, not as a spread out. One project, a 150 crore project, a project engineer will be headed by a chief engineer. That is how it is. That other one is ED or chief project manager. He is called PM or project director. Like that it is called. The designation will change here and there, but it is overall it is. And also they got various units, quality control units. Our central also is there. Specialized unit for contract and specification. And for this your information system, they got building information system. CPWD had a lot of publication also. They are associate and members of many of the BAS committees. All IS code committees, there will be a member from Central PWD will be there. That is how, because out of experience and the vast area of that one, that is how it is done. So hierarchy is now getting flatter and flatter. That is okay.
So can you recall any funny or thought-provoking incidents during your career that particularly highlights any lesson for which every civil engineer should know?
Yeah, many things is there. Many things there are. Whether we call it funny or it is called quite interesting, it is what I say, that is, there are, which one? Because it should not affect others. No? That is when I say that is, it should be neutral. You see, civil engineer, one thing I advise all the youngsters is, you should actually see the site. Don't sit in the office and try to imagine what it would be. See, to have a proper estimate, you should have details about the site and the project. This is a prerequisite. Without knowing what is the kind of site, what is the requirement, you cannot prepare a good estimate. If you don't prepare a proper estimate, then execution will be a problem. Because your estimate will be in one end and your cost will be some end. When you prepare, it will not match. Then again you go for a revised sanction, there is a problem. Time consuming decision making will be a problem, delay and all. So you have to have a well prepared, means well conceived plan and project report. Then based on which you should get a sanction. Then only you can start exercise. So, okay. Now having said this, there is a problem of central assistance. For example, to get a central assistance, you have to submit a project report from the central government by the state government. Okay. Suppose let us say a state government send 10 proposals, doesn't mean that the central government gives a sanction for all the 10. Out of the 10, they may sanction 2. Which project they will sanction, that state government will not know. Am I right? So, to collect a detail for all the 10 projects, the state government has to invest money. The very purpose of submitting a proposal is to get the fund from that. So, it became a chicken and egg case. Okay. An interesting case, that's what I am saying. So, what ask, state government will ask some agency, you prepare some drawing for some such and such. So, let us say 10 place they will prepare. And then based on that one, they will, neither site will be there, not there will be only drawing will be there. Based on that, they will estimate, prepare, send to central government. Central government, out of that, I don't know what criteria, they will sanction some project. Then only they will identify that, go for further detail. Naturally, there will be mismatch between what they estimate, what is. This is what happened in one of the projects. Okay. State government has sent a proposal to central government. The central government rightly approved. It is prepared by the state agencies. I happen to be a young engineer. My boss from Trivandrum said that is Aundeeswaran, that is this project is go and see, and it is to be garden. So no, this is such and such place. So I went along with my assistant engineer. That time I was executive engineer. Went to a place. First of all, I went there, where is the site? Nobody knows. That inquired it. Then I got hold of one local boy. I tipped him by you show me such and such project, because local people will know now some project is coming. He said that is there, that is, it is full of bushes and all, I can't get it. So please lead us. There is road is there. When we reach there, it is around 30-meter level difference. Okay, with great difficulty. At that time I was young, my assistant engineer was also a healthy person. So he went there. So, but the architect what has done, it is horizontal distance is only 10 meters. So naturally he put this level to the road, and the project is prepared like that. So I said, sir, that is, it is this one. You have to have a lift or access from around 5 kilometers from other end to access that. Okay, you don't have a road access. So construction is, it is not, this drawing will not work. He didn't believe. The state government didn't believe. How can it be, that is what? Okay. So then finally state government arranged a detailed inspection with then secretary, director, chief engineer, state PWD, and my boss, superintendent engineer, and myself was. When I went and there, that is, then only they realized. They said that because that is the moment they stepped down, they slipped to the bottom. So then said they realized, because see, always you be truthful and you go to the site and see yourself and convince yourself what is your. Otherwise, what will happen? Ultimately, it is to be physically executed that site. Your estimate may not be realistic. If your estimate is not realistic, you cannot execute that project. The cost will be there will be a lot of deviation in the cost as well as time overrun. This is what the common complaint about civil engineers. Am I right? They don't execute in time. They always exceed the cost. Why? Because the estimate is not realistic. Or the decision on the sanction is taken. You prepare an estimate today, your sanction comes after 5 years. How can it be? Today you go and purchase an item, even a brinjal in one market, after 5 years it will not be different. It will not be same. It will be different. It will not be same. This is the case. So this incident, what I am saying is, you see that physically the site before you put it in writing. Otherwise you are misleading. The administrator give you a sanction, will not understand sitting in the office what you are. He relied upon you. You are the person in the field. You should be. So I realize that is a chicken and egg case. You may not be able to spend money on that. At least you can be realistic. You can go there, put it on writing. That is this level difference, 30 meters. That is you have to go down below. around 2-3 kilometers downfill only you can come. That will cost, that much road laying will cost include. No? Simply a 10-meter road and around 2-3 kilometers road, that is, the cost will be there. So this is one real incident happened in my life in the beginning. Like that, there are many are there. I just say the few, that is what. So you, similarly, that is when you go, you plan. You say, I went once by road from Delhi to Savai Madhopur. You might be knowing Savai Madhopur. Rajasthan. That is Tiger Reserve is there. Okay. There I constructed a regional museum of natural history. Was constructed that time around a big project. 50-60 crores was that building. So you see, when I finish my inspection, it is why I am saying is you ask. If you don't know, ask. So my driver was. It is evening in Rajasthan. He was driving, that is nothing is there. It is full dark. And after about every 2-3 hours, there will be a small light will be there. That will be a small village. A person, old man will be sitting there. Ask that, he will say that you go this way. Then another 2 kilometers he will drive, and the same thing will happen. We will making like that from evening 7 o'clock onwards, that is up to midnight around 12 o'clock, that is we were driving in the dark. Finally around 1 o'clock, that is in one village, I stepped out and asked that man, came there to ease out. So I asked him, where is the main road? I didn't ask that, we have to go to Jaipur. Where is the main national highway? He said, you go this way straight, you will. So finally we went. What I want to say is, when you work in an unknown place, at least you have that is your route map ready initially. Otherwise, you will land up there. Finally, we reached the national highway around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock there. From there, then we drove to Jaipur. So it is unknown place. Anything can happen there. So you be cautious, protective. That is, if it happens, that is, it will be risky. That is what I say, because. So when you go to the unknown place, you study that area. Don't purely rely upon driver alone, because he was the local man, UP man. I thought that he knows the place. He never told us. He said, I know anything, but he don't know the route. So sometimes it do happen like that. So there are many such incidents. For example, when I went to All India Radio, I neither know Hindi nor Marathi. And I started from here, Chennai, telling my friend who was then working in Air India. So I am coming there. I landed in that Bombay railway station, and nobody was there. And everybody was speaking Hindi and Marathi. I don't know anything. So this was the experience. Then I took my trunk on my shoulder and that suitcase on the hand, and I walked. Fortunately, luckily for me, he was standing on the outside, just outside the gate. Then only I got the breath. Okay. So this all our life, you have to be bold enough, face it, have a confidence, faith in you, you will be successful.
So finally, what advice would you like to give to the young aspiring engineers who would like to work with CPWD or to contribute to public sector works?
You see, if you want to utilize your knowledge to the public good, then the government organization is the right place for you to work. So don't think that is, today you got education, you studied in a government school, you are using your public facilities, right, railways, bus, road. It is created by government. It does not come from there. If something is wrong somewhere, somebody has not done their duty. There is no point in blaming others. You see what positive contribution you can do. See, in every organization or every society, there are people who work sincerely, not bothered about what they get appreciation or anything. They do their duty calmly and rightly, not they sincerely do. Similarly, in organization also, there are honest people. they do their duty, rightfully there. They don't bother whether some get appreciation or not, some benefit or not. They don't, they sincerely work. There are some people that they work what benefit we get and then only work. That is a person. They are normally, that is you can, what is rightfully your share you can strive for. No quarrel, no disagreement with. But don't be a corrupt. That is unethical means don't try to. It is a cancer. It is you are stealing from your own pocket, not from others. That you should have one's mind. And that people sometimes works. The corrupt people also sometimes work. But that is not what we require. Then there is another kind of people. They are much more worried there will be some mistake. They know, if they will feel that if you do some work, that is, there will be some mistake. If you do the work, there will be mistake. If you do a honest mistake, who is perfect? Everybody will be committed. There used to be a saying, a good doctor has did a wrong thing several times, then only he learned and became a good doctor. That's what they used to say. Similarly, a good engineer might have committed so many mistakes and he learned. Only thing is you should learn. And it should be a bona fide mistake. It should be, your intention should be very clear. It is not, you should not have a mollified intention. Mollified. You should have, your integrity should be absolutely clear. That is, there is no doubt about your integrity on that. The decision you should have taken with good intention. And there is another person, they will be only blaming others. They neither does the work nor think, they will script, oh, that is wrong, this is what. So it's just like that is, sir, the site is bad, this gentleman is not working, I don't have money, I am away from. See, you cannot have in your house, you cannot, government give you a project in your backyard, in a plain football field. See, by very nature of the project, it should be like that. In the place where it is required, that is only you have to do. If you doesn't find suitable, then you find another place to work with it. Am I right? That is what, no point in blaming. Okay. So, this what I am saying is, organization reflect the society. What all the yields and goods are in the society will be reflected not only in CPWD, every organization it will be there. It could be reduced or minimized to a certain extent. As a society, what we are, that is every organization. Because we cannot import a people, am I right? We cannot ready-mode the factory order that is engineer A of this much integrity, this much quality, this much skill be imported from such like that. Am I right? So, it can be encouraged or discouraged. In organization, it is to be discouraged. A person not with integrity should not be encouraged at all. A person with integrity and with good skill should come and join. And if you do want to do a good, you join a CPWD. And CPWD in an organization, you can have an experience you cannot have. That is the reason I joined in CPWD. It is like, rather than swimming in a well, you swim in the ocean. That is what. Second thing about is, you see, every individual has got their preference, their choice, their liking. I don't. But there is a difference between engineers. There is a saying that engineers make the world, others live in. You are the person, you provide all the facilities. If a road is there, a communication, you are the first person to enter in. For example, a campus is built when nothing was there. You clear the site, you put a compound wall, you put a road, you put a water supply, you building, and all the current, electricity, air conditioning, and all that is table and furniture and many things that is, it will be provided. Just like that, for example, when I was in Trishur, Yatirnivas was constructed. It was just our building. It is our Kerala State Construction Corporation was the contractors. Suddenly there was a call, this building is to be inaugurated next month. So there will be challenges like that. So then you have to rise up to that occasion. And you have to devise ways and means and devise, including furnishing. In fact, I have to go by the jeep from the morning from Trishur to Ernakulam, purchase the bed and the mattress from Kayarboard, and bring it to there, cut the check and send somebody by evening to deliver them, because they have to account the money. I cannot make a payment without the material. So this all a certain, always feel the rules are intended to get the things done. It is not to get the things done, it is to get the things done. Only thing is the rules are framed, it should not be misused. The things, resources should, because after all the public, anybody put their hand in the honey pot, try to lick it. That is the natural tendency. So that is why this is, you have to run within the, for example, a race, you have to run within the lane, not a shortcut you cross and we won. That is not a win at all. That is, therefore, you have to follow the rules, you have to maintain the integrity. It is difficult. Naturally, you running within the lane and winning the race is difficult. Everybody cannot win. So you have to train yourself, equip yourself to win the race, work within the rules and deliver the goods. So then I wish, that's as a famous Einstein quote is there, na? That is the scientists see what it is, but engineers do what nothing was there earlier. You create new things. So always scientists research existing things about it. Engineers create which was not there at all. This is what attributed to the quoting of Einstein. So you are going to create a thing which is not there. So it is a creator you are going to create. So you should be proud of. Welcome. It is a very noble profession, and it is any civilization start with the civil engineers. They do the things. So, and you do a lot of things to the civilians. That's what the military engineering, civil engineering, it is a difference is you do a public good. That is merely for defense purpose, and this is for the civilians' welfare. That is what you are there in your very own life. Your house, your road, your water supply, your irrigation, all came from civil engineering. Your food, roti, kapda or makan, all that is civil engineers' creations. So you please be proud to associate with that if you have got temperament, liking and interest in it. Then only you will flourish. I advise all the civil engineers, best of luck, all success in the career.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We are actually deeply grateful for your participation in this session and for sharing your expertise with our audience. It has really been an inspiring and enlightening conversation, sir. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you for giving this opportunity. And there are a lot more they can learn. The younger generation is much more intelligent. They have got much more exposures. And they have got access. Now that knowledge is in the fingertips, they can Google up anything that find out. Not like that is, only thing is that is, we tend to forget the tables. You don't know that immediately 4 plus 4 also we sometimes put on the calculator or mobile. You try to balance it and be human and do good to the country. Wish you all success. Thank you for giving this.
Thank you so much, sir.